Okay, so to start the tater tot, I think what Mackenzie was doing was first we made a slip knot, and then so you can make your slip knot however you want, and then all you do is chain 3, right? So that doesn't count. And then I'm gonna try to hold it, do the video and do this at the same time. So that's 1, 2, 3. So now we have 3, and then she went back into the first stitch, which means you just go through that little top string there like that, and you grab your yarn and you pull through both, which means you pull through this one too on the hook. So that's what makes that circle. And this is the little hole that you're gonna put your 6 single crochets in, and we can kind of move this tail over so it gets out of the way. So let's start our 6 single crochets by going in, grab your yarn, pull it through, you got 2 on the hook, and 1 single crochet. I'm trying to do this slow for you. So that's 1 single crochet, same thing, 2 single crochets. I'm gonna move this little yarn over just with my finger. Then we're gonna go 3 single crochet and 4. And I kind of want to keep them to one side so they don't overlap. I think you may have overlapped one time. And 5. And the last one, last single crochet is 6. Now we're not gonna slip stitch and join or anything. We're gonna make this one continuous round. I'm gonna try to pull this to see if it closes, but it doesn't close very much, which is why I prefer the magic circle. But this, I guess, is easier if you don't know how to make that. So let's count our stitches. We have 1, 2, I like to count by 2s because of a fat thumb, 4, and then 6. So I can see that this stitch right here, this little V, that was number 6. So we made 6 single crochets. So I'm going to convince my little hook to go in there, and this little tail here kind of makes it look better if you bring it forward right next to your stitch, because then it's going to hide this in the back instead of having it be like that or something like that. So we're going to make 2 single crochets into each of the 6 stitches. So we're going to end up with 12. So this is going to be our first. And if it's too tight, I don't know, take it out and do it again. I try to make it a little bit loose. There's 1 and 2. Next stitch will be 3, 4. That's 3. That's kind of how I count in my head. And it's not the easiest thing to do this first round, or the second round, I guess. And then, can you see the stitches too? Like, this is the next one. I hope the camera's focusing on the right thing. Come on. 5, 6. This means we're halfway there. Then we're gonna do 7. I try to pull them out a little bit. That way it makes it a little bit looser instead of just kind of pulling through real tight. Kind of give it a little bit of room. 8. It makes your next row easier because it's not going to be so tight. Come on, 9, 10. See, I did the thing. See, so when it's tight, I kind of try to pull down on it a little bit to open it up. I think this is 9, 10. I'm going to lose count from talking so much. 10. This should be my last 2. This should be 11, 12, and we can always go back and count. make sure that we have the right number of stitches, because I just feel like it's important to know. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Perfecto. This is the top of our little tater tot. I still keep trying to pull this because on my magic circle you can pull it totally tight, and that this is as big as the hole is. Really no big deal, but for me, I don't like it. But if it's what works, then it's what works. Okay, this next round we're gonna make the little ledge for on the tater tot, because they're kind of flat on the top. And so in order to do that, you look at your stitch. See, this is gonna be my next stitch that I'm into. This is the front loop. This is the back loop. Do you see how every stitch has a front loop and a back loop, front loop, back loop? We're gonna do back loop only. So we're gonna not look at this front loop, and we're only gonna go into the little back loop. I think I missed a little bit of the yarn yet there. This yarn is like coming apart, but whatever. Okay, back loop only. Single crochet, and we're gonna do 12. So most of this thing's just gonna be 12. So there's 1, back loop only 2. Where's the back loop on that? This little thing's tricking me, but my back loop is really right there. Right, Silver? Back loop 3, back loop only 4, back loop only, come on, 5, it's okay to take your time, back loop only 6, back loop only 7, back loop only 8, maybe Kenzie can speed this up, back loop only 9, back loop only 10, this is gonna be number 10. I gotta make sure you can see what I'm doing. Back loop only 11. And my last stitch in the back loop only 12. Okay, so now that we've done that, it's gonna try to curl. So you push it down. And you can kind of see, we left that other loop, we left that front loop, so now it's got a little bit of an edge, which will look a lot better once we have the rest of it made. But how about that? Now what you're gonna do is you're just gonna do, we don't have to do the back loop, we're gonna do both. You're just gonna do 12 single crochets all the way around. And you can either use a stitch marker, like a pin or something like that. So I would do 1 single crochet, and then I would pin this, so I know that was my first stitch, and you're gonna do 12 around. So I'm gonna do, I'll do 1 row with you, and then I won't make you watch this. So this is 2, 3, 4, oopsies, I pulled that out on accident. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then this right here, right next to 12, would be the very first stitch that we did that we didn't stitch marker, but you can kind of see it's starting to take shape, kind of like a little tater tot with a little flat top. I like the flat top, I just think it looks better than a round thing or like a ball. So yeah, I'm gonna keep going and I'll be back. Okay, I have 2 more stitches to do. 11 and 12, and I feel like this is long enough. I feel like if I went any longer, it wouldn't look like a tater tot. I feel like this is a good size. And how many rows did I even do? I don't know. It's hard to count. It looks like I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like I did 6 rows. Meh, I think it looks good. And this is the way I close it. I just do invisible decreases and I do 6 of them because we already have 12. And if you wanted to stuff it, now would be the time. I think I'm gonna do that because I liked it better. Okay, I stuffed it. Not a lot, just a little bit to hold its shape. But then I also don't want like the top part bulging out because then it won't look like a tater tot. Okay, so since we did back loop only, you know, to get our ridge, we're gonna do the same thing. See if I can get the camera to watch my hands, not the carpet, to do our invisible decrease. So for the invisible decrease, we are going to try to find the back stitch of our first stitch here, or the back loop, I mean. So do you see that's the back loop, that's the back loop, that's the back loop. We're gonna be working in that. So I'm trying to watch through the camera and it's harder. I'm gonna go into that first back loop. It's gonna be my first stitch. It's gonna be your hardest one to get into. Okay, yay, did it. Yarn over, pull through, and instead of, you know, finishing it off like a single crochet, you're gonna go in the next back loop only, and then pull through. Now I got 3 on my hook. I'm gonna pull through all 3, and that is 1 invisible decrease. And I'm gonna do that 6 times because that's gonna be my 12 stitches. So this is gonna be 3, stitch number 4. I'm kind of pulling some stuffing too, but oh well. All 3. Back loop of stitch number 5. Pull through. Back loop of stitch number 6. Pull through. Got 3 on there. Pulling a little bit. Yarn through all 3. I think this is 7, 8. I'm losing track because I'm talking. 7 and 8. I don't think I said those words yet. This is being a pain in the butt. I can't pull it. It's not letting me. I have to take it out. What did I hook on? Make sure it moves. Yes. Let's do 7 and 8 over again. Pull through 8. There we go. And we got 9. And where's 10? That's hard to see. Well, we're just gonna make it up because it's kind of forgiving. 10, and then 2 more. 2 more. It gets a little bit hard. 11, because this is such a little small thing. Okay, come on, give me number 12. I think I got it. 12. Okay. That should do it. Give yourself a little bit of room so you can cut it. Mimi, can you? Just kidding. I'll get the scissors. I gotta get the scissors. I was ill prepared. Okay, now I got my scissors. Cut the yarn so that now I have a nice long tail. It was probably more than I needed, but now we did get our little ridge like we wanted because we went in the back loop only. Oh, cute. But now we've got to close this little guy, and I think now we have 6 stitches because we went from 12 to 6. So I have my yarn needle, and I think it's easier to make it real tight. You're good with string, so you know what you're doing. There we go. Get our little dangly guy, and then I don't know if I go through both stitches or if I go through only the back one. This one would look funny. I kind of want to lay it down the way I want it. I think I do go in the back loop only. I mean, was it gonna hurt? We're just closing this thing. That look of only 1, and then 2, and then you're going to be able to pull it closed. 3, and 4. It's getting a little lumpy. I bet we could probably pull it closed now at 5, just because of the way it looks. You give that a little pull, and we did it. Cute. There it is. There's your tater tot. But now what do we do with this string? Well, my idea was to, because you kind of want it a little bit pushed in, so I'm thinking if we feed this, you just put your yarn through anywhere, come out the top, give it a little bit of a tug, kind of makes it flatter. So I kind of wanted to do the same thing up here. You won't be able to see that. Maybe it'll come out the side. Yeah, sure, that looks good. And then if we pull it down a little bit, maybe it kind of helps it keep its tater tot shape. And then other than that, you just kind of, I mean, you can put this through anywhere, back and forth until, and just be really gentle and don't try to pull on it because it'll make like a dent, you know, you don't want a little dent in it, but it's always good to just kind of feed your string through here and there, back and forth, just randomly till you feel like it. And you know what, in all honesty, that's probably fine. Give it a little extra pull, cut it off there, squeeze it, and it's done. There's your tater tot. Cute little guy. I like that it has the edge here and the edge here, and that's because we went in the back loop only. Yeah, you can tell which is the bottom. It's kind of ugh. That's the top. It's a little bit cuter. I'll do right now that magic circle if you want to know how to do that. Just for fun. If you don't, then turn it off now. So for the magic circle, I hold the thread yarn here, and I make a nice little X on my fingers, and I hold this end with my thumb, and then this part I kind of grab it like this, just for now, just so that it makes the X. Then you take your crochet hook and you work on this side, not this side. My mom was doing this side and it wasn't working. You got to go on this side of that X, and you go under the first, over the second, take that, you kind of you're letting it slide on your fingers here, on those back fingers, because you're taking it, then I twist it up. Now, this is my working yarn, the long one that's attached to your skein. That's the one that you kind of want to get under that, and you want to pull that working yarn through this little loop that you made. Come on, oh, there it went. Then I kind of pull it tight. I grab real tight with my thumb and forefinger and I pull it. Then when you take your fingers out, you're left with this magic little ring, and when you pull this end, it gets tighter. So then, whenever I do this, I always like to start off with chain 1 because it's easier to see my work. I would just do that for good measure, and I would do my 6 single crochets into this big hole. So we would go 1, that little tail, just stitch over the tail, because you're just stitching it in. 2, 3, don't be a poop. 4, hang on, we got 2 more. This little tail's giving me trouble. 5 and 6. So now I got my 6. Watch what happens when I pull this. It makes it into a circle, like a tiny circle. And you can still count your stitches, 2, 4, 6, and then that little chain 1 that I had, and then I know this is my first stitch. And you just start going like that. But then you have this little tail, and you can just pull it close, and it makes it really tight. So anyways, magic circle, that's my favorite thing. Sylvia hates it, and yeah, I hate that chain 3 thing because it's really hard for me. Anyways, let me know if you have any questions. Hope this helped.